Hi, Gene Burnett from geneburnett.com. Hey, I thought we'd talk a little bit today about bicep tendon tear prevention for elder dudes like myself and perhaps like you. Now, I say dudes the widest possible sense. That includes extraterrestrials who are listening to this from outer space, as well as all beings, all sentient beings on Earth. You're all dudes to me. So dudes, as we get older, you'll start to hear about people tearing their... Ooh. Whenever I hear that beep, I'm going to do a little bit of a chain punch. Just whenever I hear that beep. It's just a little training device that I'll tell you about in a second. So, I want to talk a little bit about this because you'll hear about people your age. Someone will tear the bicep tendon. It'll literally tear off the bone and the muscle will like roll up. And sometimes if you're old, like my father-in-law, they thought he was, that he could get by with just one tendon, half the bicep on that arm. Since he's 87, it wasn't worth the risk of doing a surgery to reattach that thing. So he's got a slightly different looking arm there. But boy, if he had torn both, would he be in trouble? A lot of people do tear their bicep tendons. They go to lift something or set something down and that tendon tears. Now, tendons attach muscles to bones. So when that tendon tears, that muscle doesn't work anymore. So it's kind of important. So it's a fairly common injury in old people, at least anecdotally from what I hear. I mean, you hear about people, injuring this quite a bit. So here are some just mellow tips for hopefully preventing this. I'm not a doctor, I'm not an expert. If you really want to get into this, search it and there might be more information. I'm just giving you my experiential take on this because I don't want to tear mine either. Number one, that's the random interval timer at randomintervaltimer.com. It's a training device that I made with my friend Noel, who's a student of mine, and you can set it to either randomly give you a beep or randomly give you a bing, gentle reminder. And I'm working on reaction time today, so when that thing beeps, I'm going to jump up and do some chain punches. I've set the interval to 60 to 120 seconds, and sometime in that interval, it's going to go off, and when it does, I'm just going to do some chain punches and just keep my reaction time going. So it's randomintervaltimer.com. It's a free gift to you. There's no charge for it. Just grab it, bookmark it, put it on your desktop, and you can fool around with it and find the interval and the right tone for you. There's two tones, a gentle reminder, bing, and then reaction time. So when that thing goes off, since I'm doing reaction time, I'm going to do a little thing. So first one, tip number one, first thing, accept your age and your fitness level. Be realistic about what you can and cannot do, how much you can safely lift. Not how much you can lift, but how much can you safely lift. And it's hard, I know, for some males in particular who have had a life of strength and action and lifting and picking up and putting things. But really, listen to your body. If you have to strain to lift something, you're in danger of tearing those tendons. If you have to strain, I don't mean effort. Effort is fine, but that extra strainy thing, if it's not an emergency, don't lift things that make you strain. Just because you could do it last year or the year before or 10 years ago does not mean it's safe to do now. So never think, how hard can I punch? Think, how hard can I safely punch? That's my recommendation. You can do whatever you want, of course. Don't think, how much can I lift? But how much can I safely lift? So let strain be your governor that keeps you from doing something. If you have to strain to do something and it's not an emergency, better to get help or not do it. Just accept your current age and fitness level and whatever that means, okay? Secondly, warm up before exercise if you can. Even just doing the basic, just doing that before you lift something, or this before you lift something, or this. Just work the muscle that you're about to work a few times. Just warm it up. And even better if you can get your legs to help. So the two of them are working together, right? They're working together. So you kind of activate your body. Little gut check. Is your core engaged? Core engagement is a huge positive before any form of exercise. Engage your core a little bit. Go through the motion a couple times. It'll take you 30 seconds. Boom, and then pick up the thing that you're going to pick up, right? And don't strain to lift that thing. Don't strain. Warm up, but if it's strain, get some help. Beware especially of quick, hard lifts, right? Quick, hard lifts. That's where you, quickly grab something. Something's sliding off a rooftop carrier and you go to grab it. If it's out of your weight class, what would be worse? That thing falls down and breaks, or you go to the hospital and need surgery for bicep tear, reattachment, okay? So I will rather do anything than go into a hospital, so I'm going to let that thing fall if I have to. I've had 2 friends who hurt themselves trying to stop something that they had no business trying to stop from hitting the ground. It was just too much, but they impulsively leaped towards it. So beware of those quick, hard lifts. Another thing is to be careful when you set things down. Apparently the down part can be more risky for the tendons than the up part. So if you want to not tear things when you put them down, be extra careful on the down part. So when you're setting something down that you're holding up, engage your core. Set it down with your whole body if you can do that, and put less strain on the bicep, right? Another thing you can do, and then the last tip I have for you, is to do some gentle curls regularly. They can be air curls, where you're just lifting your hands, right, like that. They can be soup can curls, right? They can be 2 or 3 pound weight curls. They can be 5 pound, 10 pound, 15, but I don't recommend going too hard if you're an older person. Just get some gentle curls in. It's just something that feels to you like, if you're a burly, fairly strong person, maybe just doing 10-pound curls is no big deal, and you just do a few of those regularly. Same with down the line, if you can handle a 30-pound curl and it's no big deal to you, do it regularly so that those muscles are used to that. But I'm talking to old people here, so people like me, I'm talking like you just want to exercise those muscles and bring a little blood to the tendons and to the area. So what I recommend is something like 5, 4, 3, just something. You'll feel it if you do some reps of that. And also, I have a little trick that I like to do with curls that gradually isolate the muscle more, but start with hardly isolating it at all, because it kind of warms up the muscles first. I call it swing it, push it, and pull it. Okay? So I'm going to grab my weight bar and show you what this means. So I got a weight bar in front of me here. I'm going to do this sideways. Right? Well, maybe I will do the chain punches if I hear the beat, but from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this in my hips. All right? And I'm going to sit back like this, and then when I thrust my hips forward and just swing the bar up to here. And then I'm going to bend forward and put it back in my hip. It's not much work for my bicep, but it is a little. I'm going to swing it up, going to swing it down. So I call this swing it. It's almost like a kettlebell toss. It's using my legs and back to bring the thing up to my hip, up to my chest. Right? I'm not pulling it, I'm swinging it. Right? Now, when I've done, say, 5 reps of that, this bar is about 15 pounds or something, then sit into the hips again, except this time I'm going to push it. I'm going to push it up with my legs. I'm going to let that momentum of straightening my legs. My feet are shoulder width apart, by the way, maybe a little wider, and their insides of my feet are parallel. So instead of swinging it, I'm going to push it. I'm going to push it with my legs and just finish it with my arms. So I'm going to push it up, and then I'm going to sink with my legs and let that sit down. So push it up and help with the sink down, right? Push it up, sink down, right? So swing it, push it, and then finally what's a standard normal type curl, I sit into my hips, sit on my horse, sit into my hips, lift my heart a little bit, take my head back a little bit, and I'm just going to use my arms. Just pull it. And that's the maximum isolation for the bicep muscles. So I'm going swing it a few times, I'm going push it a few times, and I'm going pull it a few times. This can also be done with the palms down grip, which exercises the tendons a little bit differently in the muscles. Just swing a few, push a few, and then pull a few. Like that. Okay, so you can do that with a very light weight. You don't need to use a 15-pound, bar. That's just my thing. That's my threshold. I don't put any more weight on it than that. But if doing air version of that, air swings, air lifts, air pulls, right? Just helps to bring some blood and awareness into that area, and it always helps to pay attention to your whole structure, your whole bodily posture, particularly engaging your core before you start any exercise. That's a great way to prevent tendon damage across the board. Engage your core, set yourself before you do the thing. Honestly, I do this before I put something in the wastebasket. If I just turn quickly and impulsively put something in the wastebasket, it's possible if I've been sitting around for a while to tweak my back, which means I might have a sore back for a week or longer. What I do instead is I realize I'm going to throw something away. I just engage my core a little bit, turn and drop it in there. It takes an extra 2 seconds to do, but it really makes a difference. Everything is just aware and kind of connected through structure. It won't work for every single thing, but it makes everything a little bit better and a little less injurious. So these are just a few things that you can do to kind of help prevent that injury that you might hear happening more and more around you as you get older, bicep tears, bicep tendon tears. So thanks for listening. I appreciate it. If you find this kind of thing useful, I sure appreciate any comments letting me know that you do, because that's why I do these videos. I don't have ads on these videos. I'm not trying to make a fortune from my YouTube channel. I have a donation jar here and at my website, GeneBurnett.com, but that's just to give people a chance to support what I'm doing here if they find it useful. It's by no means expected or necessary. Same with the random interval timer. Use it if you want to. It's free. It's just a website. I have a donation jar there, but it's just an opportunity to toss a few bucks towards me if you feel like you want to help. It's just not a big deal. It's not expected. So yeah, take care. Let me know if this thing works for you. Feel free to use it, both the tendon tips and the random interval timer, and we'll see you next time.